Welcome to the Bleed Maize and Blue podcast with your host, Brian and the U, covering all Michigan athletics from a fan's perspective. And we're coming to you after a Saturday win against, of course on Saturday, after a win against Colorado with the score. What was the final score there?
So, final score 45-28 Michigan. A good win in the final non-conference game of the season.
Yeah, so they finished, we're 3-0 right now, and undefeated against the non-conference, obviously.
Yeah, and the best team they played so far in Colorado.
Definitely the best team. So what did you think about the game? I mean, we were kind of scared there right from the get-go.
Didn't you want to do a recap?
Yeah, so...
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
No,
I guess you
okay.
can edit this part out.
Yeah.
So yeah, the game started off terribly.
Yeah.
So Colorado got the ball and threw a bomb. I think it was Delano Hill. Is that right?
Yeah.
Beat and off the slot.
Yeah, starting right from the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Just for their first drive. Got beat deep.
Yeah, he got beat deep, and then immediately after that was Wilton Spate getting sacked and fumbling the ball, and Colorado picking that up for a touchdown, which made it 14-0.
Yeah, at that point I was sitting up in the stands, like it just kind of felt like one of those games, like right from the beginning, where you worry that at this point you're down 14. And then if you continue to make mistakes and if things don't go your way, you're looking at a possible upset. So I was honestly nervous. I wasn't losing hope or anything, but I was looking around. Everyone was kind of sweating there for a minute.
Yeah, it was okay after the first touchdown because, one touchdown,
yeah,
you get it back. But after the second one is when I think people started getting nervous.
Exactly. Colorado looked honestly really good. I think they're kind of an underrated team, at least I'm hoping. Their offense looked like really dynamic.
Yeah, they were sort of like Central Florida, where they had sort of the spread attack, attack the edges. But yeah, really fast perimeter guys. They had that one sort of slot receiver who just burned Michigan the whole game.
Yeah.
I forget his name, number 2.
Yeah.
But he burned Hill on that first one, and then I think he scored their last touchdown too.
Right, got beat over the top quite a bit today. That kind of seemed like what was happening over and over again.
Yeah. So start off 14-0, and then the first Michigan score was wild. That was the punt block.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Or someone blocked it, and then it rolled on the ground for a while, and Grant Perry picked it up
and scored, and we needed that so bad. So at that point I was like, okay. And then I remember, so after that what did we do? So they went down again and scored, right? So we're down.
Yeah, that was the score. That's the one where they got over the top again.
Okay, so again
Thomas.
And then after that we failed to score. And then they were driving all the way down to it was like they were in the red zone again, and I was like, no way are they going to go down 3 touchdowns right now. Yeah. And luckily, I think he just shanked a field goal, right?
Yeah, that's right. He shanked the field goal, and that was most of the first quarter. And then Michigan sort of picked it up after that. But yeah, the first I can't even remember the last time they started that bad.
Yeah, that was
at least like a non-elite team.
Right.
But yeah, it got much better.
Yeah, much better. Everything started to come together. The run game was okay. A little improvement from last week, like we talked about in the last podcast. The pass game went well. Defensively, they really adjusted right after halftime. I would say after. Colorado's below there, like right out of halftime.
Yeah. So yeah, they. In the first quarter they were just getting beat by over the top stuff and sort of the slants down the middle, and they sort of They seemed like they eliminated that in the second half. Which
exactly.
Which is good.
So adjustments.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall we started out. God, it was nerve-wracking, but they got themselves together and they came out and finished with a pretty good score. What was it, 42 to 28, was it?
Yeah, 45-28.
45-28. So overall, I don't know about you, but I'll take it. I'll take the win.
Yeah, sometimes it's just going to be how the game goes. There's always games during the season where even if it's a team you're better than, it's still going to be close.
Exactly. And kind of like you mentioned earlier today, we have to face some adversity,
Yeah.
Which is probably good at this point in the season, rather than, let's say, going into East Lansing or, playing Wisconsin under fire.
Yeah, and this is still without a lot of their best players. Like no Jordan Lewis again today. Mm-hmm. No Taco Charlton. No Brian Monet. So we get
Rayshawn.
Yeah, well, they had Rayshawn today. I'm not gonna live that one down. But yeah, they'll get a few more pieces back. Hopefully next week. We'll keep checking, see if they come back this week. But yeah, well, if you want, we can talk about our buddy Rayshawn.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so we'll jump right into our defensive segment. We'll kind of break down the day. So I'll let Matt, you take the honors. Let's start with the D line. What did you think overall with the D line?
Yeah, so D line again, like last week, numbers are a little down with no Charlton and no Monet. But yeah, the problem wasn't really the defensive line today.
It was surprisingly the secondary.
Yeah, as the secondary, Colorado didn't really get that much, just up the middle. They did get the edge a few times in the first half.
Yeah.
But I think that was more on the linebackers in the secondary. They did adjust. But yeah, in the second half especially, they really locked down defensive line. Gary had his best game, I think. This was his coming out part. I mean, this was his performance today. Yeah, he had another one of those rushes where he just runs around the tackle where he doesn't even get touched. He's so fast off the ball, it's unreal. Yeah, and I think it's good he's getting so many snaps now. That'll help a lot during the season, especially when he can platoon more. Exactly. In the second half of the year once they get all the guys back. Is he going to be good or what, though? I mean, down the stretch, someone at the tailgate mentioned that he's going to be the best defensive lineman ever at Michigan. Knocking on wood, stays healthy and everything. But I'm seeing it right now happen. He's a freshman, and I noticed one play he drove. I mean, he didn't make a tackle on his play, but he had a guy on roller skates backing out to the quarterback multiple times. Yeah, for every other defensive lineman, when they're coming out of high school, they have the speed, but it takes years just to build that strength, Exactly. He might already have it. And I mean, if you remember the profile on this guy, this is like the best D-line prospect since like Clowney or even like Ndamukong Suh. Yeah. So, yeah. That's who we have. Sky's the limit. Exactly. That's awesome. And see, he's getting better each week. He's already seems significantly better than just since the Hawaii game. So he's going to be our guy we keep an eye on every week. Absolutely. Probably talk about every week. But actually, we'll move on with the D-line because I think the star of the game was JP, boy. Yeah. Some cayenne black Jabril peppers. My favorite, man. He came out today firing in all cylinders. It was awesome to watch. I mean, he at the linebacker position, in the flats, especially around the edges, like you were saying, Jabril Peppers was there to fill and just stop whatever's on the outside. I thought that was awesome. Yeah, he had a few more hits where he just trucked the guys in the backfield. And how about that blitz? He came right through the middle, and the quarterback just had no chance because of Pepper's speed. You don't normally have a linebacker coming at you that fast. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes they time out those blitzes, so there's just no chance. So that was awesome. No, he played great.
Mike McRae, another good game, another almost interception that he dropped.
Yeah. We'll watch the game again. I'm not sure the linebackers had quite as good a game. The non-Peppers linebackers.
Yeah.
I'm still a little concerned. There's not a lot of depth. It's all McRae and all Getty, and that's it.
Exactly, and that's a big concern. Like,
yeah, I think sort of in cleanup time, Devin Bush got in there again, which is good. But that's still
a question mark
on the defense.
Now another main concern. So linebackers, I thought they were okay. D-line, I thought played really well. Secondary, this in my opinion was the issue. How do you feel that the secondary did today?
It was not great.
Yeah. Up to you. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So I think most or all the big plays were in the secondary. The first touchdown was, I think it was Delano Hill got beat in the slot
multiple times, right?
Yeah, the third touchdown after the fumble return was Diamante Thomas. He got beat over the top, and that was bad.
Diamante?
Oh. We'll have to...
Demonte.
Okay. We'll have to print off a Matthew pronunciation chart.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Diamante Thomas. He got beat. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Then the last touchdown in the second half.
That was Hill again, right? Getting beat over the top.
Yeah, that was Hill again. Maybe when our second watch, we haven't had time to watch second time again.
Yeah, like we normally do. We're broadcasting on a Saturday night. Yeah. We're actually watching we just got done watching the stupid Spartans and the Buckeyes are on right now.
Yeah. Actually, might turn that off.
Yeah, Urban Meyer's running like a little pansy down the sideline.
But yeah, on our second watch, it might show that the safety is supposed to get help.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure they're supposed to be one-on-one with receivers all by themselves. So we'll check that maybe on the next watch. But
yeah.
And that's really the first time I remember in a long time where they just got beat over the top more than once in a game.
Exactly.
Hopefully that's still just first few games, things to work out. If not, then might be some trouble on defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And part of that's just not having Jordan Lewis.
And that's a huge loss right there.
Yeah.
So once we're playing secondary without one of the best players in the country, best corner in the country, I mean.
Yeah.
So one comment I had, I don't know how you feel about this with our safeties and corners, when they're defending the wide receiver, why aren't they not facing the inside of the field? They're always following, like, from when I was taught.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Here we go.
When I was taught, and I know I'm not questioning the coaching, but like, why they never get their head around, because there's multiple times where the ball was coming in. If their head's turned around, they have a chance to intercept the ball. That's just a little pet peeve of mine. You know?
Yeah. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Okay.
And it seemed the worst. It came out worst in this game. Especially because there's Colorado doesn't have any like NFL receivers.
Right.
I don't think they seem fast, at least from the game. From watching, but that's a little concerning. It might be a new issue. We have to keep an eye on. But we'll see. Another thing to watch for next week.
Yeah.
Penn State has some good receivers, and that was the main issue on defense. They got edged a few more times, sort of on like sweeps and things like that.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, it was. I thought the second half they really came out and redeemed themselves. Honestly.
Yeah, once Colorado lost their starting quarterback, that was about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it got better in the second half, which is encouraging. And really only 21 points because one of their touchdowns wasn't their fault. That was the fumble.
Exactly.
Um,
So, not bad, right? Defensively?
Yeah, not bad.
All right.
Hopefully get better.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can talk about the offense now.
All right, so offense, quarterback play. My interpretation of it, I thought Spate came out today a little like shell shocked. He seemed kind of nervous, not making the right reads, getting happy feet. I noticed this early on, making honestly some poor throws, and it was to the point. One point in the beginning of the game, I don't know if it was a play calling. They were actually booing, which pissed me off. I don't like when they.
Yeah.
But from the stands there was booing. And one of the guys we sit next to, he was asking me, "Oh, do you think they're going to put O'Corn in now?" And Harbaugh believes in his quarterback. That's not what he's going to do. And so pretty much what I'm trying to say here is he came out playing not so well. However, I think once he started to calm down a little bit and everything kind of went into play, then it got better. I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah, it's probably the first real defensive team they played. He did look rattled to start. And to be fair, like that first sack for a fumble return, there's nothing you can do.
No, that wasn't.
But yeah, it seemed like the first game might have been rattled, which is, is fair because it's his first game against a real opponent, probably.
Yeah.
He did bounce back a little. I still think definitely wasn't his best game. They didn't really connect very much on the long ball the whole game.
No.
Most of the receiving yards are like screens.
Or Jake Butt.
Or the Jake Butt. Yeah, just not a lot of downfield stuff.
Right.
And that might, hopefully it's just 1 week thing.
Exactly.
But I was a little concerned that it didn't seem like Jetson and Darboh were getting much separation on the Colorado corners. I don't know what you saw.
I agree.
Especially Darboh. Whoever was guarding him was just like a blank on the whole game, so that's a little bit concerning.
Absolutely.
And maybe Colorado's at one corner. Ouzi, he's an All-American, but I'm not sure the other guy is.
Yeah.
So unless Colorado's corners are really good, that's might be a little concerning.
Definitely.
But yeah, they obviously bounced back. Really, the cool thing about Michigan's offense is even if they're not explosive in like one particular thing, they still have like 6 or 7 things they can do. Like they have all those jet sweeps, they have screen passes, they can run the ball a little bit.
That's a good point.
They can put Peppers out there.
Exactly.
So even if they're having games where they don't score, like 50 points, I don't think they'll ever have a game where they score just like 10 points or anything because they have so many ways to score.
Yeah.
And Harbaugh always has a good game plan. Like that screen pass to Darboh at the end of the first half, like that was gorgeous.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like the one where he was going outside, and then he came in, like it was like towards the quarterback, right? And it was like a setup screenplay.
Yeah, and that looked familiar from last year.
It did.
I don't remember which game it was. But you can tell sort of he used plays from last year that worked.
Yeah.
Like they tried that little double fake screen pass that they used against BYU.
Yeah.
That one didn't work this time.
It didn't work this time. But it's good to see them start pulling that out because it didn't. But no, I think that's actually a really interesting point that you made. I didn't think about that yet. We had, like last week, we weren't able to run at all. Yeah. So we just started putting it over the top. And then this week, the run game was a little better. But the pass game kind of was shut down for a little bit. So like you said, they started doing like those end arounds and everything. They were able to score that way. And that one play that I saw to Jake Butt, it was the same play over and over again. He would just simply cut across like a straight diagonal from, say he was on the left end, right? And he just cut right across to the other side, and it was open. I don't know, it wasn't covered.
Yeah.
But it's just little plays like that where Michigan can always rely on to score. So I think that's like with the future games and everything. And I'm not even sure we've even seen close to everything on the playbook. It was cool to see Peppers out there, but and I think there was a Wildcat play today too. As a side note to Evans.
Yeah,
right?
there are a couple weird things we can talk about. Yeah, there's that first one.
Yeah.
There's also one where they just brought in Shane Morris. And
did they? I don't even remember this.
Yeah, that was in the first quarter. They brought in Shane just to like toss it or hand it off.
Was that O'Corn, or was Shane Morris came out there?
Just for one play with Shane. Then they used O'Corn for another play.
Okay.
At least in the Shane play, I think it was mostly just for blocking on like a sweep.
Yeah.
I don't know why they brought O'Corn in that first quarter. I guess maybe we'll look out for it in the next few weeks.
All right.
It might have just been because Spate got hit really hard and that fumbled though. But yeah, saw a few wrinkles.
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, I guess we can talk about Jake Butt. I thought he was a MVP offensively.
Absolutely. He didn't drop a ball today.
He didn't drop a ball, and you can see just even against a really good defense, he just sort of even if you have good corners and good linebackers, he still sometimes is uncoverable.
Yeah. They know that it's. He's a huge part of the offense, and he's still open all the time, every game.
And it's just one of those things where nothing else works on the offense. You can just throw it to him.
Yeah, and he'll catch it, and he'll be there.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. Who else was out there? I saw Bunting got out there for a few plays, right, today?
Yeah, I guess that's one of my smaller disappointments.
Okay.
It's the Jake Butt tight ends haven't done much this year.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a beer real quick.
Okay.
Keep on chatting to our huge fan base.
Oh yeah. So actually, it seems like the main backup tight end might be Asiasi. He's in on a bunch of formations. Sometimes they put him sort of in the backfield a little bit.
Yeah. And
sometimes around the line. So that's really encouraging for future years. There you go. But yeah, I don't know. I sort of vision that they'd have like 4 tight ends they could throw to during the games, and that's not really happening yet. So hopefully that happens later, but for now.
Hey, we got Jake Butt.
That's true.
So I'm pumped about it.
That's true.
Receivers we pretty much covered. They had a good day. I mean, I'm not gonna go there. Overall, it was good. I mean, like the end arounds.
Yeah.
I was pretty excited to see McDoom out there for quite a few plays. He even made a tackle today on special teams.
Oh, he did. I didn't notice that. Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully they use him on some receptions. Because now it's sort of a flashing red light when he's out there that they're going to throw that little jet sweep.
Exactly, every time.
But yeah, that's good. Dylan Crawford got in again. That's good. But yeah, receivers, pretty good. Not much downfield, but sort of working the edges and the screen game and things like that. Yeah, successful. Grant Perry, he caught that big pass, that 50-yarder. I think early in the second half.
Yeah.
To set up, I think that was to set up the Ty Isaac touchdown.
Okay.
That sweep to the left.
That's right. Okay.
But yeah, we can that can lead into the running backs.
Yeah, running backs. I thought. What do you think?
Yeah, Go ahead. Devion started. He had a few. He had a few good runs.
He had a big run
to
today.
Start. Yeah.
Yeah, which I can't remember the last time. Well, BYU.
Yeah.
Or
But
maybe
yeah.
Florida. But sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, just he had that sweep touchdown, which we certainly haven't seen.
Yeah, to him. So that was nice. I thought he ran hard today. And I think he showed why he is the number one back overall, you know?
Yeah.
We were pretty excited about Evans, which we should have been.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of like a reality check. Like, slowly roll a little bit there. Don't get too excited, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And there might be games where he's more useful, I guess, as more of a speed back.
Absolutely.
But for now, Davion was fine. And really, it's interesting, they really tried a lot of those, like, tosses. Sort of the toss plays.
Yeah.
More so than just in the middle. I don't know if that was just because they thought the middle of Colorado's line was good,
Mm-hmm.
or they thought they had something on the edge. That was interesting to see. Like the Davion Smith's touchdown that was on the toss to the left.
Yeah.
I think the Ty Isaac touchdown was tossed to the left too.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a new wrinkle we haven't seen quite as much.
It was nice to see, and I think it was smart, honestly, because after what we saw last week against UCF, they were kind of doing the same thing, where they were crowding the box, you know?
Yeah.
So this was the way around it. If you're going to put that many guys in the middle, then we're going to go to the outside, and I thought that kind of helped us out there. One thing I noticed today, too, is I think Ty Isaac had obviously his best game of the season, and I was excited to see that he was able to get out there and touch the ball more. And there was one specific move. I think you probably know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
It was kind of towards the end of the game. He totally sidestepped this guy, and he had no chance. And it was just, it made you realize, like, we have the two backs, the power back and Smith, and then with Ty Isaac, adding that type of running back to it, it was awesome, and it was good to see him have a good day and move around like that. What did you think of Ty Isaac today?
Yeah, he definitely looked better. He had that little jump cut when they were in their own end zone to get like that 20-yard run.
Yeah.
He had a touchdown, which is good. And yeah, he definitely looked better than last year. So yeah, that's really encouraging. So I wonder if it'll sort of be, if Davion's the first back, they'll sort of switch off between Isaac and Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Sort of depending on the game.
Okay.
Because it seemed like they sort of, once Ty Isaac did well, they sort of rode him for a little bit.
Exactly, and that's what since Tyrone Wheatley's been here, coach, it seems like that's been his mentality, you know, kind of go, the game, it's a new game, you're going to put players out there, and whoever comes out to play that day, he's going to keep out there.
Yeah, and it seems changed by the week. Like
It
last
does.
week, it was a lot more Higdon.
Yeah, Higdon
Ty
was
Isaac didn't get any carries last week.
And we didn't even see Higdon today.
Yeah, he only,
Right?
I think
Like
he only
two
had 1 or
runs.
2 carries. Yeah. So it seems like every week it'll sort of change. I guess depending on the opponent and who's hot, things like that. But yeah, I think overall, Davion's still the main guy when he's not injured. But yeah, a little bit better run game than last week.
Yeah.
And
so from the running backs, we'll transition with the run game. Real quick, we'll do a quick talk on the linemen, because last week that was kind of an important topic for us, how they would respond after what happened last week.
Yeah.
So I guess you take the honors. What do you think? What am I trying to say here? How did the line come out and play compared to last week's performance?
Well, better in some areas. Still some issues. Like clearly the fumbled for the touchdown. That was, I don't know if that was the line or the receiver missed his block, but clearly that was an issue. Sometimes it seemed like they sort of avoided just running up the middle. I don't know if that was a line issue or if that's just what they wanted to do.
Unfortunately, I think it was, but...
You think it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I still think the strength of that line is sort of that Cole Kalis side. The middle and the center and the right guard.
Yeah.
it does sort of seem like at times in between tackles they sort of go to the right a little more. And when they do those sweeps, they tend to pull like from the right side. Like Kalis or someone will come over.
Yeah.
When they pull. So that's probably still a little of a concern. That's something we'll have to watch the replay again.
Yeah.
To get a better idea.
I'm a little concerned with the line still, and it's just the push. There's not much of a push off the line. It's like the holes are being made, but it's not like anything significant. So we gotta hope week by week that it gets better. The unfortunate thing is this is a group that are fifth year seniors, and they've been playing together, and it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, it does seem like their strength is sort of just sort of like basic pass blocking. Like the defense just sends 4 or 5 guys,
Mm-hmm.
And they just have to protect Spate for a while. They seem fine. When they seem to sort of have more trouble either in the run game or there's sort of weird blitzes. They've sort of missed a few like blitz pickups and things like that. So hopefully stuff like that is correctable because they seem fine for the most part in pass protection.
Yeah, pass protection is great.
Yeah, you're right. I think the run game just might have to just deal with it.
Yeah, find little things like you said, little wrinkles that we put in today to fix it, or hopefully, I don't know. I still have hope. I'm not giving up on that yet. I still think you got to go 4 yards a carry and just make it happen. I'm not quitting on them yet, right?
Yeah, and it still might just be defenses putting a bunch of guys in the box.
Absolutely.
So yeah, another thing to watch for next week. But yeah, definitely not elite level running game yet.
No.
But that's okay.
Yeah. So overall, it was a good Saturday. It started out all rainy. We had some bad weather.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be nice, and the Michigan scared me so bad early on. Just like I'm sure, I don't know if you were freaking out as bad as me. I started thinking of the worst. Did you have confidence even after going down 14 real quick, or?
I was fine after 7. I got a little nervous after 14. It was the 21, the third touchdown. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Might get interesting here.
Exactly.
Because there were really times where defense really didn't seem like they could stop them.
Yeah.
But they did, so.
And they did, and it was good. I mean, it was awesome to see them fight back from adversity and get the win. So we're 3-0, and we're, I guess from this we'll go into our next little segment here. We're playing Penn State next week.
Yep, Penn State first Big Ten game.
Excited to get into the Big Ten.
Yeah. So Penn State is 2-1. They beat Temple today. Obviously lost last week to Pitt.
And won against.
Yeah, they beat Kent State the first week.
Okay.
So at the beginning of the year, we thought sort of the offense would still struggle and they'd sort of hang on by their defense. But really, it seems like the opposite.
It does.
Their offense, they sort of switched more of a spread look with McSorley. And obviously, at Barkley.
Yeah.
Who's best running back, at least in the Big Ten.
Yeah, maybe
more.
Yeah, he's awesome to watch.
And they're actually getting carried more by their offense, and they're having issues on defense.
Surprising.
Yeah. Which is not what we thought at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. I mean, this is linebacker U, Penn State. Just like the Matt U. Linebacker Woo. Not working out for them, though. I mean, it is. It's different than what we thought, especially with... hold on. You can't... Don't tell me.
Okay.
Hackenberg leaving. That was his name, right?
Yeah, Hackenberg.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, they still have certain issues. They're still not great at blocking. They lost all their defensive linemen.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. They've had more injuries, too. A couple of linebackers have gone down. So a very winnable game for Michigan. Really a game they have to win, home game
Yeah.
against the division opponent.
Exactly.
And they'll certainly be favored.
First Big Ten game at home. This is a game that you have to win. I mean,
and this will be a game where if the run game's going to get some life, I think this will be a game where it picks up a little bit.
I think so too, and I also think that Michigan, head-to-head with them, I think everything kind of lines up nicely.
Yeah.
The way, it's not a spread team. Those are the ones that are going to worry me.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty confident with the way they run the ball and the way they run their defense. They're pretty basic,
Yeah, and this is the start of the games where they're not going to be like preserving anything in the playbook. This is the time where they're actually going to sort of open everything up.
Yeah.
We might even see more Peppers. This might be the first game we see where Peppers plays like almost every drive or every other drive.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Quick prediction. Early prediction. I think we handle them by. I think it's going to be similar to today. Not quite like how it happened.
Yeah.
But I think we'll win by. I don't know. If like a 21-point line, is that too much? But I mean, that's what I'm honestly thinking. I think we can win by like 17-24.
If I had to guess, I think the line will be close to like 14.
Okay.
A little lower than this week.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be more of like 30-17 type game.
Okay.
Would be my guess.
I like that.
They won't score quite as much, and they'll do a little better on defense. That's my guess for next week.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we got to do our bold predictions. We are at, 37 minutes. We're doing good here.
Yeah.
So we'll do our weekly kind of like bold predictions where we kind of just pull them off the top of our head.
Oh, we can recap our last week. So I failed miserably in mine. Mine was Cladell gets 3 touchdowns. Yeah. He had 0.
0 touchdowns.
I forget what
That's why I call them bold predictions. Mine was the 2 freshmen. Alright, so there's going to be 2 freshman wide receiver touchdowns.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
And that failed miserably as well.
That's okay. But yeah, we'll try to do better this week.
Yeah, I was off the other week, but then I say Jabril Peppers' return. It almost happened there too.
Yeah. Yeah, you're 1 week off.
I just want to have like a 10-minute segment just to talk about how awesome Jabril Peppers is. Every time he touches the ball, I'm not even going to do it though.
We'll say that for a different week.
Yeah. All right. Bold predictions. Right off the top of our head. So we're just pulling this out of nowhere. Matthew, what is your bold prediction against the Penn State Nittany Lions?
My turn. My bold prediction is I think this week we will see a pick 6.
Okay.
I think a Jabril pick 6. That's my bold prediction.
Okay, that's a huge one. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so my turn. Oh man, I'm sorry. I always take a minute to think about this. Boy. Okay, I have one. I think that we are going to get a run. I have to be specific, so I will say Ty Isaac will have a run for 60 plus? No, maybe 70. Bold, I'll go 70.
Wow, okay.
So, a huge run.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a bold prediction.
All right.
So, we're still 0 for 3, so maybe we can get one on the board this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we can do a quick shoot around the Big Ten.
Yeah, let's take a quick look.
This wasn't as nearly as fun as I'd hoped it would be.
No, I mean, we'll start from the top, where we left off here. We're actually just finished watching a couple football games. Our 2 rivals that we kind of talked about in the last podcast quite a bit. Michigan State came out against Notre Dame, and Notre Dame just looked terrible.
Yeah, we don't know if that was MSU being really good or Notre Dame being really bad.
Yeah.
Because really MSU just beat them up along the line.
Like, no problem. Yeah.
There were touchdowns where the running backs didn't even get touched.
Yeah. So it was 30, what was it, 36 to like 7 going into the fourth. And then we were pretty excited. Notre Dame came all the way back within 8 points and actually had the ball. They had a shot to tie it up, but failed to get it done. And then they even had a shot to stop them. Michigan State, after they punted the ball away with like 2 or 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
And failed to stop them there. So that's okay. They won, and it looks good for the Big Ten. I mean, and that's, well, what do you think about the Buckeyes? So they got a win tonight too, pretty handily.
Yeah, they beat up Oklahoma. We got the scores here, 45-24 OSU.
Yeah.
That was a game we thought at the beginning of the year might be a possible loss, but clearly not. I mean, they look really good. Not much to say.
Yeah.
Barrett's still good. They reloaded on defense. To be fair, Oklahoma did lose to Houston, so maybe they're not quite as good
as we thought.
But yeah, they look like one of the 4 or 5 best teams in the country to me.
I agree.
We won't talk about that anymore.
No.
So next we have Wisconsin sneaking by Georgia State, 23-17.
And we're pulling for Wisconsin in that one. Like, we want that game to look good in 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Wisconsin plays Sparty next week, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, sort of escaping, especially because that LSU win doesn't seem as great right now.
That's true.
But yeah, escaped Georgia State. I guess the big upset of the week was North Dakota State 23, Iowa 21.
Yeah.
So that's defending Big Ten West champ losing to a FCS team is not a good look.
Not a good look at all.
Especially for a team Michigan has to play.
Yeah.
It's picked as a loss by a lot of people.
By a lot of people. And the way Iowa looked last week, they trounced their in-state rivals. Like, no problem. They look good.
I know. And if you watch that game, it wasn't a fluke. Like, North Dakota just beat them up on the line.
Did they?
Yeah. North Dakota is a good FCS team. I think they win
every time
the title every year in the FCS. But still, it's not a good look.
No.
But yeah, staying in the Big Ten West, actually, the new favorite of Iowa goes down might be Nebraska. So Nebraska 35, Oregon 32.
Yeah, which is good to see you. Pat Riley, right?
Oh, Mike Riley.
Mike, mix it up all the time. Mike Riley, he recently, he had to play Oregon quite a bit at his old coaching gig, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So he came out today, and he got the win. They were down early, I saw.
Yeah, they were down. It was really back and forth game, sort of. But yeah, Nebraska pulled it out at the end.
It's good to see.
Yeah, and that might change how we look at the Big Ten West. Especially with, Northwestern looks terrible.
Yeah.
Iowa lost already. Illinois looks terrible.
Row the boat. The Mac attack happened again.
That wasn't even... We'll talk about that. That wasn't even close. But yeah, maybe Nebraska, our new Big Ten West favorite. Our next game is...
Where's your Boilermakers?
Oh, they were off this week.
Okay.
So
I'm sure you were happy about that.
Yeah, they won't lose till next week. So Rutgers 37, New Mexico 28. Okay. I didn't watch any of this. I saw one highlight. Janarian Grant scored again on a touchdown return.
He's awesome. Northwestern won their first game. They beat Duke. I don't have anything about that. Surprisingly.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Because they lost to the FCS and then got attacked by the MAC as well.
Yeah, they did.
Wait, that was Western? So beat Northwestern too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Western Michigan they beat.
So Western is just plowing the Big Ten right now.
So they're leading the Big Ten West.
That's awesome. Jeez, man.
So Penn State 34, Temple 27. Temple hung around for a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, Penn State at home, a little more talent. But still, Penn State might be sort of a, 6-6, 7-5 year. Might be tough times for James Franklin.
I agree.
Western 34, Illinois 10. That's a really embarrassing score.
I'm telling you,
at home to a MAC team.
That's just kind of crazy for me to think. As in the same season, like if you're a Western student, like you just took down 2 Big Ten schools. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that especially that Central Western showdown. It's looking pretty big now.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. I wonder if it's at CMU.
Are they in the same division, the MAC?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
So that'll decide who goes Ford Field, right?
Yeah, so I guess, can I get my quick CMU shout out?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So CMU, they took down UNLV today. I think they beat them pretty handily. It was like 44 to like 20 something.
Wow.
So Central is 3-0. I know you guys probably don't care, but I just have to do it anyway because that's where I went to school. So Central won, and they play Virginia next week. So you always hope, like, after you've seen these MAC attacks, if just saying, if Central or even Western, if they can run the table in their season, they have a chance to go to a New York Six Bowl, just like Northern Illinois did against Louisville, I think it was.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah, something to watch.
Yeah, so that's my quick CMU Fire Up Chips shout out.
Our last game is Maryland defeating UCF in double overtime, 30-24. So either UCF is better, good for Michigan's schedule, or Maryland's terrible. Probably both.
Probably a little both.
It might take a couple years for Coach Durkin to fix up Maryland.
Yeah.
They still have issues on offense. But yeah, that's all the Big Ten scores for this week. At least all the ones we want to talk about.
Yeah, this week was a really good week in college football. A lot of good games. You had, I guess, more from around the country. You had Alabama playing. Well, I guess first I'll start with the Louisville, and you got to actually watch parts of this game. So Louisville played, Louisville played, and don't tell me because this is not, I'll get mad if you tell me.
Okay.
Because I know Louisville beat Florida State.
Yes.
Which was a team that I was very impressed with. Florida State's quarterback, I thought he was like the real deal. He kind of reminds me of Winston a little bit. He kind of the same stature and everything, but as you know more about this game, kind of go ahead. What was your take on that? You thought pretty impressed by the quarterback?
Yeah. So in case you didn't know, Louisville won this game by about 50 points.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's a lot of talk about Lamar Jackson, Louisville quarterback, and it's all true. This guy, I think he's the best quarterback in the country from seeing him. He completely shredded Florida State's defense, who we assume is pretty good defense.
Right.
He's easily the Heisman front runner. If you watch him, he's just so dynamic as a runner. I don't even remember the last guy I've seen. Like,
yeah,
honestly,
you said like Vince Young, right?
Or even like Cam Newton. He's not like a big guy, but he's just really long and incredibly elusive.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe him. It's almost like if he's like stretched out to Nard almost, and he's like a 6'3" guy.
Really?
He's just so elusive and dynamic.
Okay.
And that zone read is lethal.
Lions. Sorry, Lions commercial, but that's crazy though.
But yeah, Louisville actually might contend for a playoff spot here. They look that good. I think.
So Louisville, big win. So Alabama wins against Ole Miss. I guess was pretty close overall. I think they won by, it ended up being 8. At one point they were down like 2 scores.
Yeah, they were.
And we were talking about how we could be number 1. We could be number 1. So we were kind of watching out for those games. Alabama, if they could have lost because Florida State lost. And then, so, I don't know. My overall take from this is we're going to move up a spot in the polls. We're going to be number 3.
Yeah.
Which I don't think it would be. Like, it'd be cool to be number 1, but at the same time, we already have a big enough target on our back.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm kind of okay to stay right where we are at number 3, and I think it'll be cool because the Buckeyes will be 2 and represent for the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah, they'll start Big Ten play next week, so we'll get a better idea of how they look.
yeah. By the way, just wondering. No, who cares? I'm not even gonna go there. Yeah. So start Big Ten play next week. It's exciting. We're 3-0. We had another good week. Matt, you have anything else to say about the game or next week? Any finishing thoughts?
Yeah, I just say don't panic.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't great for most of this game, but they're going to get more players back on defense, and all the good teams sort of figure it out as they go along. Like, you remember, like all those good Sparty teams and OSU teams the last few years, they always had games like this where they play inferior teams and keep it really close for way longer than they should have.
Exactly.
And sometimes you're just going to have games like that. So I would just say...
Yeah, it's college football.
Yeah, so just don't panic about it yet. They're still a really good team. And I still fully expect them to beat Penn State next week.
A lot to look forward to on the season. 3-0. Some good stuff here. I want to finish with, who's got it better than us?
Nobody.